They told me I'd finally get to rest, that life would be easier, that someone would take care of everything. But the truth? No one told me I'd lose myself. If you're watching this and you're over 60 or you love someone who is, what I'm about to say could save you from making the biggest mistake of your final years. Because once you move into a nursing home, it's not just about where you sleep, it's about who you become. You might think it's the responsible choice, a safe one. Maybe your children are encouraging it, gently saying, "You'll have everything you need, Dad." You want to believe them, you want to trust that the care will match the comfort they promise. But comfort has a cost, and for many seniors like me, that cost is far more than we ever expected. This video will uncover 6 hidden truths about life inside nursing homes. Not assumptions, not exaggerations, just raw lived experience, backed by stories from real seniors, real caregivers, and science-backed insights. If you value independence, peace, and purpose, you need to hear this, because what you think you're gaining might pale in comparison to what you're about to lose. And if any part of this message touches you, if you care about the truth, if you want more insights from real elderly reflections and senior health stories, take a second to like this video and subscribe. Let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? Now let me take you inside the door that changed everything. The first regret comes fast. I called it losing my independence, but really, it felt like losing my name. Before the move, I had my little world. I woke up when I felt like it, took a slow walk when the breeze felt right. My coffee, black, strong, made by my own hand. My mornings were mine, my evenings too. But on my first morning at the nursing home, I heard a knock. Then the door opened, breakfast tray, a nurse's voice saying time to eat. I wasn't hungry, I was still half asleep. But it didn't matter. Their clock had started, and I had to keep pace. From that day on, life moved without asking me. Lights out by 9, pills at 6, shower on Tuesdays, dinner at 5, whether you're hungry or not. You want to sit outside? You'll have to wait until someone can walk with you. You want to skip an activity? I stopped asking for things. I stopped saying no. One day someone asked if I needed help choosing a shirt, and without thinking I said yes. Then I sat down and cried, quietly. Not because I was sad, but because I realized I was disappearing. In nursing homes, they don't take your freedom overnight. They take it softly. Through routine, through repetition, through kindness that eventually becomes control. And once it's gone, it's hard to remember who you were before. The second regret is even quieter, but it cuts deeper. That's feeling forgotten. In my first week, my daughter visited every Sunday. My grandson brought me a book. We laughed, took photos. I told myself, this won't be so bad. But then came the reschedules. Dad, we'll come next week. Something came up. Let's FaceTime instead. I waited in the common room. So did the others, watching every car in the parking lot like it might be the one. We sat straighter when the door opened, smiled a little too quickly when we heard footsteps. But many days they weren't for us. We don't blame them. We know life moves on. But the truth? It moves without you. And when you're not in the photo anymore, people forget to frame you in their plans. One night I held my phone for an hour. I didn't call. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want my son to hear that waiting silence behind my voice. That was the loneliest moment of my life. And I said nothing. You think you'll be strong, that you'll adapt, that you won't need visitors. But you will. You'll need someone to remember that you exist beyond this building. The third truth hit harder than I ever imagined. Losing my sense of purpose. I didn't think that would be a problem. After all, what's wrong with a little rest? But it wasn't just rest. It was emptiness disguised as comfort. Back home, I had a reason to get up, make coffee, water my plants, feed the cat, listen to the weather, clean a shelf, fix a drawer. Little things, but they were mine. In here, everything is done for you. Meals delivered, sheets changed, trash emptied. You think it's kindness, and maybe it is, but too much help becomes a slow eraser. There was a man here, George, a carpenter, hands like stone. When he moved in, he said he'd keep building, maybe teach a workshop. A month later, I saw him sitting by the window, hands on his lap, quiet, no tools, no sawdust, just silence. He looked up and said, I feel invisible. That's what losing purpose feels like. It doesn't happen in a moment. It sneaks in. One chore you don't do, one hobby you put away, one thought, why bother? And the scariest part, you stop missing it. You start to believe you don't need it anymore. That's how purpose dies. Then comes the fourth regret. My health declined faster than I ever thought it would. Before the move, I was fine. Slow, sure, but I walked every morning. I stretched, I cooked my own meals. I wasn't training for a marathon, but I was living. But after I moved in, no stairs to climb, no meals to make, no errands, no need to move. They said, take it easy. But taking it easy turned into not moving at all. In 3 months, my knees stiffened, my back ached. I needed help getting out of a chair. I wasn't sick, I was just fading. And it's not just me. Alice next door. She used to do 2 laps around the hallway every day. Then 1 lap, then half, then a walker, then a wheelchair. She said, I feel like I aged 10 years in 2 months. And she was right. In a place built for care, we forgot that movement is care. We forgot that bodies need effort to survive, and without it, strength dies fast. That's the first half of what I learned. The silent truths no one told me, and if they had, I might have made a different choice. There's something sacred about privacy. You don't realize it until it's gone. The fifth truth no one warns you about is this. You lose your privacy and dignity in the smallest, quietest ways. At home, I had a door. My door, I could close it when I wanted silence. I had a bathroom that was mine, where I moved without waiting, without explaining. I had space for my thoughts, my moods, my pace. And that space made me feel human. But here, privacy is a protocol, not a right. From the moment I arrived, people came and went. Morning checks, evening meds, just checking in, Mr. Howard. Clipboards tapping, curtains that barely close, and doors that knock but still open before you can answer. Even something as personal as using the bathroom becomes a performance. You press a button, you wait, sometimes for minutes, sometimes longer, until someone shows up, stands nearby, asks if you need help, even when you don't. It's not malice, it's not cruelty, it's procedure. But procedure doesn't care how much pride you spend a lifetime building. There was a day when I tried to shower on my own, just to feel normal. I locked the door, took my time, and when I came out, a staff member was waiting. Mr. Howard, next time please call first. We worried. I know they meant well, but I also knew something had changed. I wasn't a man in his home. I was a resident in a system. Even how they speak to you shifts. Sweetie, sweetie, hun, dear, words that sound gentle, but land heavy. They mean well, but you're not a child. You've lived decades, you've raised families, buried friends, survived wars, recessions, heartbreak. And now someone half your age is asking if you need help putting on socks. And the worst part? You start to say yes, not because you need help, but because it's easier, because it's faster, because the look in their eyes says, let us do it. And so you do. You give in, bit by bit, and with every surrendered moment, your dignity fades. There's a woman across the hall. Her name's Joan. She used to be a librarian, sharp, private, soft-spoken. One day I saw her close the curtain around her bed. Her roommate had family over, loud, laughing, sharing stories. Joan just wanted quiet. A staff member walked in. Joan, we need the curtain open for visibility. She didn't say a word, just nodded, and I watched her sit there, exposed, not just physically, but emotionally, like she didn't even belong to herself anymore. That's the thing about nursing homes. They give you care, but sometimes they take your personhood. And if you think dignity isn't that important, wait until you lose it. Wait until you have to explain why you want 5 minutes alone. Wait until you can't even choose which sweater to wear because someone else already laid one out. Now here's the sixth truth, the one most people never see coming. Much harder to leave than you think. The brochures never say this. The social worker doesn't say it. Even your family, with all their good intentions, doesn't say it. But once you're in, getting out is like climbing a hill that keeps getting steeper. I told myself it was temporary, just until I get stronger. just until my kids finished their renovations, just for the winter. But then I saw the signs. My house, they started clearing it out. You don't need all this stuff anymore, Dad. Furniture gone, photos boxed, my garden left to dry. And when I said, I think I'm ready to come home, the hesitation was thick. Dad, are you sure? It's safer here. You've adjusted so well. But I hadn't. I'd adapted. That's different. They didn't see the late nights where I whispered into the dark, wondering how I let myself become someone who needed permission to walk outside. They didn't hear me rehearse how I'd say it. I want to go home. But when the time came, I didn't say it. I couldn't, because I didn't believe I could manage. Because the stairs looked taller now. The kitchen looked lonelier. My strength had faded, not just in my legs, but in my resolve. I met a man named Charles, used to be a teacher. He moved in with the same plan. Just for now, that was 2 years ago. Last week he told me I still have the key to my old place, but I don't think I'd know what to do there anymore. And I understood. See, that's the danger. The longer you stay, the more this place becomes your world. And the more the outside world becomes foreign, unreachable, even frightening. They don't chain you to the bed, they don't lock the doors, but they slowly convince you you belong here, that it's better this way. And maybe for some it is, but for many of us it's just inertia, momentum, the slow slide of surrender. So if you're thinking about making this move, ask yourself something no one else will. What if this isn't temporary? What if this becomes your forever? Will you still feel okay with that choice? Because once your roots grow in this place, they're not easy to pull up. And even if you could, you might not have the strength to replant. By now, you've heard what I've lost. The freedoms I gave away, the identity that slipped through my hands, and the painful truth that once you're in, the world outside starts to feel like a distant dream. But this part, this final reflection, it's not just about regret, it's about clarity. Because looking back doesn't just hurt. And if there's one thing I want you to understand, it's this. Comfort isn't always care, and safety isn't always light. There's something I call the quiet fade. It's not loud, it doesn't scream. It shows up in the way your name is replaced with Sir or Room 204. It shows up when no one asks what music you like, or when your hobbies are replaced with scheduled activities you never asked for. It shows up in the silence of an afternoon, when you realize no one needs you for anything anymore. I missed my window, not because it had a view, but because in the morning the sun used to pour in just right, warming my hands while I stirred my coffee. I missed the routine of choosing my mug, playing music while I folded towels, arguing with myself over which book to read next. No one warned me that being taken care of isn't the same as being alive. There's a woman down the hall, Elaine. She was a school principal, strict, sharp, opinionated. She moved in with ideas, said she'd start a book club, teach the younger staff something. 3 months later, I passed by her room. She was sitting staring at the floor. No books, no music, just stillness. That's what this place does if you're not careful. It doesn't kill you, it erases you, line by line, until you're just here. And it's not just nursing homes, it's the idea that aging should mean retiring from life, that rest is the goal, that you've earned a seat in the corner while the world keeps moving. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to accept that. So if I could sit across from you now, just the two of us, I'd take your hand and say this. 1, stay in your home as long as you possibly can. There are more options than you think. Home health aides, part-time caregivers, neighbors, community programs. You don't have to choose between independence and safety. You can fight for both. 2, keep moving. Your body doesn't stop working because of age. It stops because you stop using it. Walk in your hallway, lift soup cans, dance in your kitchen, do something every day no matter how small. 3, protect your routines. Make your own tea, fold your own laundry, keep your morning rituals. These things matter more than you think. They are anchors, reminders that you are still the captain of your life. 4, don't confuse help with surrender. Needing support isn't weakness, but giving up choice, that's a danger far greater than any diagnosis. Keep your voice, use it, say no. Say yes, but say it because you chose to, not because it was chosen for you. 5. If someone tells you it's for your own good, ask, for whose convenience? Sometimes what's best for the family is what makes them feel better, not what keeps you whole. And most importantly, 6. Plan now, not just financially, but emotionally. Ask yourself, who do I want to be at 85? What gives my days meaning? What would I miss most if it disappeared tomorrow? Because if you don't answer those questions, someone else will. And I promise you, they won't know what matters most to you. You still have time, you still have a voice, and your story is still yours to write. To every senior watching this, you are not just a patient, not just someone to be managed. You're a person, a full, beautiful person with decades of wisdom, memories, and value. And if you're younger, watching for a parent or loved one, please hear this. Don't choose the easy path. Choose the one that keeps them alive. Because here's the hardest truth of all. It's not the bland food or the nightly meds that break you down. It's the moment you realize people talk about you more than they talk to you. I used to be a man with a name, a house, a life. Now I'm Mr. Howard, room 322. Don't let that be your ending. If this message struck a chord with you or reminded you of someone you love, please leave a comment and share your thoughts below. And if you found even a flicker of truth in what I shared, consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Not for me, but for the next person standing at the edge of this choice, wondering if they should cross that threshold. Maybe, just maybe, your voice will be the one that saves them from a lifetime of quiet regret. And remember, no matter your age, your story is far from over. Here's to living fully, loving deeply, and staying you, no matter where life takes you.